Sega.
As with any story, an audience needs a compelling character to latch onto, and Tony Stark definitely fits the bill.
I think the luckiest thing that happened was getting Robert Downey Jr. to play Tony Stark. That guy was born to be Tony Stark.
I kept talking to John, and then after a while, they said they were going to do some screen testing, and I studied these 3 scenes for the screen test within an inch of my life.
When we cast Robert, the reaction was, I never would have thought of it, but he's perfect.
What Robert Downey has brought to it, under the direction of John, takes us to that other level.
Robert Downey is reprising his role in the game as Tony Stark.
Me and the fellows got together, and we really talked about how to kind of retrofit some of the scenes.
Listen, they attacked us because they wanted the inventory stored here, so it's obvious. No more weapons, no more attacks.
Anywhere he sees that character, he wants to make sure that it's accurate and appropriate, and you know, we couldn't have asked for a better partner in that regard.
Opinion noted, Obi, but I am telling you, do it. Come on, Pepper.
Nailed it! And as it turns out, we had fun, and it was kind of breezy and cool, and I love this kind of thing.
Actors Terrance Howard and Sean Tube also reprised their film roles for the game, with Sean Tube's character Yinsen acting as the game's narrator.
This is really interesting because I have certain controls, and I'll tell the players what to do, what's going on now.
Do I have what it takes to become truly great?
In the video game, it was strange because I didn't have any reaction. There was somebody else reading the lines.
You're trying to perceive what might be the end result.
No, the problem is you're out here fighting a war and you're not a soldier.
And you can't be too sure, so it's a little more nerve-wracking.
Stroll out of my airspace now.
Although the majority of the gameplay revolves around Iron Man, Tony Stark also has a strong presence.
I should never have made it out of that cave. Now I know what I have to do.
We plan to take the player through the same journey that Tony Stark goes through.
Definitely in the cutscenes, we're going to have Tony thinking about some of the actions he's taken.
Countless lives ruined by my inventions. I have to destroy them.
More and more you're hearing, in reviews and things. The story didn't move me, but the game looked nice, or the game was fun, but I wanted more. Having a good character like Tony Stark makes the player connect more to the game.
Now that is the voice of reason.
I love Tony Stark. He's a very interesting character.
Tony is the ultimate multitasker. He's a guy with a computer-like brain.
He kind of becomes the hero. He doesn't start out a hero in any way.
I gave him the weak heart, because I always felt a character shouldn't be too invulnerable.
He changes the way he lived his life, and that's what's really cool. You get to see that through the process of the game and the movie.
He's basically a good guy, and he always tries to do the right thing.
It's a really awesome character, and I'm just really excited to be working on the game.
Okay, time to go.
During later stages of the Iron Man game's development, comic book icon Stan Lee and the film's director John Favreau were privy to a behind-the-scenes preview.
I like the different ways you have him when he's in the air. He doesn't just fly in one position. I know that's what I would enjoy the most playing the game, just putting him in the air and letting him go crazy up there. And those old repulsor rays of his can get anything out of his way.
The first thing I noticed was how true the actual character designs and movement and even controls were to what was in the movie. It's really true. I really can't see a lot of difference.
I would think gamers would just love this, man.
Yeah,
you don't even have to play it, just look at it. Playing it is an extra bonus.
Marvel, Sega, and Secret Level are confident that gamers will feel the same way.
That shiny red and gold suit, busting through the atmosphere, and the visual effects that come with it is really exciting.
I think is a big departure from a lot of comic book movie type games in the past. They tend to be a little cookie cutter, and I hope that we're bringing something new to the genre.
With a movie game, it's really important to me, working on that game. I want to make sure that everything you see in the movie, you can do in the game.
I think that that's going to be something unique, and people will look at this as, hey, this is a pretty cool game beyond just a licensed game.
It's only limited by the imagination and the skill of the people designing the games.
I don't know if there's a game that looks better. You take a look at that suit, you take a look at the environments.
They were able to, do these really vast environments with nice detail and lighting.
It's a ton of work to make anything ever look cool.
That's the trick. You get a million people working on something and it seems like it just happened on its own.
It's just the oh wow moment where you're like, that's cool. I feel like Iron Man. That's the kind of stuff I want to do.
Sometimes you have a really inspired story that's being told, and there's nothing more engaging than getting sucked into a video game.
In our game, you actually have to make some choices. You know, do you want to take a bigger risk and risk perhaps failure or death to try to be a more ideal hero?
In this day and age, we need a superhero.
I think you can go back and as far as you could go back in storytelling.
I think mythology has always been a part of culture throughout the ages, and this is our spin on it.
Take a couple hours and imagine us in there and imagine us maybe having that kind of power.
The combined efforts of Sega, Secret Level, and Marvel has produced a truly unique superhero experience with a character that was custom-made for video games.
There's nothing like a great game coming out that draws you in.
My son, Indio, sat down, he played it, and like 10 seconds later, I go, what do you think? He goes, this is cool.
It's been said that clothes make the man. Never has this been more true than in the case of Iron Man. So getting his suit right in the game was a must.
I hate to say this, but sometimes people can even improve on what I've done.
The way the suit flies, the flaps, the weapons, they seem to have preserved that.
I love the way Iron Man looks. I love the way you have him fly.
Like Iron Man's big screen counterpart, the game starts players off with the birth of Iron Man and his bulky gray armor.
You start out in this tin can suit.
The first level of the game is so much fun, and I just love running around in this big hulky suit, flamethrowing everyone.
You start in a very basic suit, and it's all about upgrades. And as you're going through the game, you're building the suit and making it better and adding stuff to it, adding layers to it. You're going to see different variations of the suit. So we walk you through the same progression that you see in the movie.
Unlike other superheroes imbued with superhuman abilities, Iron Man is a product of self-preservation, ingenuity, and redemption.
He created something that he wore around his heart to keep it beating, but it was a suit of iron, and it was very primitive, but from that came the Iron Man.
Everything comes out of technology. It's not radioactive spiders, it's not mutations, it's not magic. It's all based in stuff that could be built.
He's kind of like just a regular, ordinary Joe. Just happens to have a whole bunch of money and a really cool suit.
As on the pages of Marvel's comic books where Tony Stark advances his armor's technology from issue to issue, the player is also able to upgrade their character's suit.
I think there's great things with the customization system and some strategy in battle that really tries to play off that, brilliant mind.
You can choose how to advance your suit and how to basically spend your money as a billionaire researching into different aspects of the suit and making the suit accommodate your style of gameplay.
As you complete objectives, you will get money value for what you do. The more money you get, of course, the more suit upgrades you can buy.
Do you want to be more offensive based? Do you want to be faster? Do you want to hit harder?
The ability to shape the Iron Man armor to the way you want to is one of the things that people are going to automatically like.
It's all upgradable as you go. So not only can you buy these weapons, but you can also upgrade them as levels. And you can get level 2, level 3 of that weapon. And so by the end of the game, if you've really done your homework and played through the game and gotten all the objectives, you can have a suit that's just absolutely, all powerful. You can really kick some butt.
Wow, if I had the suit, first I would probably enjoy flying around San Francisco and just getting that kind of a view. Just kind of enjoying it. And I think that would be the first thing. And then the call is to do something great with that power. And that's what makes these characters heroes. They've taken this power and they try to do good. They try to make the world a better place. When Sega acquired us, it was part of a movement to do more Western development, to expand development around licenses.
The strategic acquisition of San Francisco-based developer Secret Level was a key step in Sega's goal of securing the Iron Man property. This acquisition also raised the stakes for the once independent developer.
Iron Man means a lot to our company. It's a chance to really reach out and hit the mass market in a way that we don't often get the chance to do.
It's a real testament to Sega's commitment to the project, to Marvel in general, that they're going and building up their internal studio around, the Iron Man franchise.
The problem with a lot of licensed games is that they don't have enough time. So one of the ideas behind acquiring a studio like Secret Level was, hey, if we acquire Secret Level and we then go and sign a license with Marvel, we can go instantly to Secret Level and say, hey guys, we have this great license, start working right now.
Once the license was secured, Secret Level had to begin designing a game based on a character with virtually unlimited abilities. This presented some development challenges.
How are we going to do this? This guy, he can do everything. He can fly as fast as airplanes. He can hover. He can get on the ground and ground pound and shoot far away.
He's got super strength. He's got the armor shield, the unibeam, the repulsor blast, all these different things. You've got to balance gameplay.
So how do you make it so that all these things that he can do are viable tactics, and you don't say, I can just get through the game by sitting back, or I can just get through the game by charging in.
Iron Man is sort of a one-man army, and so he's going out there and he's fighting soldiers and huge battalions of enemies. So we wanted to get that war feeling.
How do you make a threat that this guy can't overcome, but also how do you create the controls to make this guy work? The prototype literally took a week to throw together. I think created a really strong, first of all, it was kind of fun. Okay, and that's obviously a good sign. It's going to be layered gameplay. When you get in close, you can take out a lot of guys quickly. When you're farther away, it's a little bit slower. You have energy usage, which restricts some things, but we always want to make it so you can always fly.
What we needed to do from very early on is get the flight down.
And not flight in a drifting up in the air kind of way, but like pounding against the air at hundreds of miles per hour. And how do you keep up with that? And how do you draw terrain fast enough? We didn't want to have a game where you're just a character running through, a street or whatever. You can fly. When you've got a character that can fly anywhere at any time, you've got to have an area that's ready for that.
We want to have tracer bullets constantly zipping by, and we want to have a chaotic battlefield type feeling. We have to constantly keep the action, and we have to keep it around the player, but not so difficult that the player feels totally out of control. And so I think that's an area that we're really working on. How many missiles can come at you at the same time? How many people can be firing at you? Constantly twisting that dial, getting it just enough, but not enough to be frustrating.
Trying to find, the perfect match of the flight, the melee, and the range combat, and all bringing that together and making it look beautiful and really, feel like an extension of the film was all things we had to think about.
When that started coming together, we said, this is going to be a really cool game on its own. It's a great license. Everyone agreed with that. But this is going to be a really cool game.